All civilizations begin with a water source, which is usually a river. In the case of Singapore, it would have to be our Singapore River, where we can trace our earliest existence. It has been the lifeline of Singapore for centuries and has witnessed great changes since our first inhabitants set foot by the riverbank so many years ago. Hopefully, it will continue to withstand test of time and sustain Singapore through its evolving roles. This is Divesh and welcome back to Teenage TripAdvisor television station. In today's episode, we'll be looking at a famous landmark in Singapore, the Singapore River. It has a rich and diverse culture with many a tale to tell. Originally a fishing village, the Singapore River has allowed Singapore to progress to a first world nation and a bustling port. As the mouth of the Singapore River was sheltered from natural disasters from the southern islands, this was the place where the city of Singapore first started flourishing. The buildings surrounding the river are centered on trade, finance and commerce. It's no coincidence that till today the area surrounding the Singapore River is the most expensive and economically important land in Singapore. Due to the extensive economic activity, the vicinity was soon filled with a flotilla of boats, bumboats and lighters. The Singapore River's calm waters suited the traders and soon became the center of trade for Singapore in the yesteryears. There were three quays that supported trade: Boat Quay, Clarke Quay and Robertson Quay. During the colonial times, Boat Quay was the commercial center where goods would be transported upstream via barge lighters to warehouses at Clarke Quay. Famous bridges were built along the river, to name a few: Kavanagh Bridge, Elgin Bridge and Anderson Bridge. Bustling trade in the Singapore River also meant a rise in traders, coolies and businessmen. Temples were built along the banks of the Singapore River to allow coolies, traders and businessmen to pray for safe journeys and business. The Chinese, Indians and Malays set up business or lived around the river to be allowed access to the facilities. The various temples were in close proximity and showed the racial harmony between the races. You could say the Singapore River was a microcosm of everyday Singapore. It was just like they said, too many cooks spoil the broth. This was the same for Singapore River. Singapore River soon became polluted and very congested. The unsuitable berthing facilities such as low bridges and shallow waters caused trade to be moved to new, later called Keppel, Harbour. Singapore River soon became silent. We'll be back with more after a quick commercial break from one of our sponsors.
The new and fun TV show is back! The Flip, with all new shows. Turn a pasta malam item into a new and reusable item. Watch every Friday, 8:20 p.m. Don't miss out.
Both the young and the old have had their lifestyles changed by the Singapore River's development. The older generation remembered the Singapore River as a place that was vibrant with culture and where they could lounge around with just a cup of coffee. The younger generation, however, will remember in the years to come that the Singapore River is a tourist hotspot and is lined with towering skyscrapers.
The Singapore River, which Raffles fashioned out from salt marshes, sandbars and mangrove swamps after major land reclamation, now empties into Marina Bay. When the shipping activities were moved to Keppel Harbour, Singapore's river role has shifted from economic and more towards tourism and aesthetics. New hotels have sprung up and stone-walked banks have been repaired. Old-time riverside and quayside business have given way to modern exciting recreational activities such as alfresco dining, live music entertainment, river cruises and such. Our Singapore River is the piece of our past and tells us so many stories. It is the essence of Singapore and its culture. Unfortunately, foreign influence has caused our local culture to start to fade gradually. More high-rise buildings and skyscrapers would possibly be built for commercial benefits due to all the businesses that are being started here. And our Singapore River could be erased from the picture.
Stay tuned tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the next episode. Goodbye.
Created using Powtoon.